Last year, it was planned for us to come here for the National Farmers' Day. But after much reflection, we asked ourselves, what would we come to tell you? Since this is the city of the black farmer here in Bamfara, every year should we come to discuss agriculture with you and not be able to provide solutions?
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
Picture a farmer in Burkina Faso, tending his cashew orchard all year, hoping for a good harvest. For every nut he collects, a plump, juicy cashew apple falls to the ground, ignored and left to rot. This fruit, richer in vitamin C than an orange, has long been dismissed as waste. Nearly 2 million tons of cashew apples rot in Burkina Faso every year, a mountain of lost potential. The world wants the nut, but the apple is forgotten, used only occasionally for animal feed or rustic brews. It's like owning a gold mine and ignoring the nuggets. Farmers discard up to 90% of the fruit's biomass, while the nuts are shipped abroad for processing and sold back at a premium. The farmer gets a fraction of the final price, and the apple's potential, juice, jam, wine, vanishes into the soil. This cycle keeps producers poor and processors rich, reinforcing the idea that Africa grows things but value is created elsewhere. The cashew apple became a symbol of wasted opportunity, its potential never truly considered. Building a factory to process this waste once seemed like fantasy. But sometimes, the most revolutionary ideas come from seeing value where others see trash. The forgotten fruit was waiting for its moment. On May 22, 2025, something remarkable happened in Penny, Burkina Faso. Instead of another school or clinic, a state-of-the-art $11.5 million cashew processing plant opened its doors. The twist? This factory was built for the apple, not the nut. President Captain Ibrahim Traoré himself launched it, signaling a new national direction. The plant can process 5,000 tons of cashew apples annually, turning what was once rubbish into valuable products. The apples become concentrate, the base for juice, wine, vinegar, and industrial alcohol. It's a direct challenge to the old model of exporting raw materials and ignoring hidden value. Crucially, the factory sits in Penny, at the heart of cashew production, bringing development directly to rural communities. This decentralizes opportunity, creating jobs and wealth where the resources are. The investment is more than financial. It's a belief in local potential and self-sufficiency. For a country facing big challenges, it's a bold move towards stability and prosperity. The Penny plant is the first step in rewriting Burkina Faso's economic story. It's a bet on a discarded treasure, and the odds are finally shifting. For Burkina Faso's cashew farmers, the new plant is a revolution. Their income once depended solely on the volatile price of raw nuts. The apple was a nuisance. Now the factory buys their apples, injecting over $867,000 into the rural economy each year from what was once waste. Farmers are no longer just nut producers. They're fruit producers too. This diversification offers a safety net. If nut prices fall, apple sales cushion the blow. It means better healthcare, education, and investment in their farms. The factory creates jobs beyond farming. Technicians, managers, logistics, and more, keeping young people in rural areas. Supporting businesses spring up, from food vendors to transport services. Farmers now see the true value of their labor, becoming partners in a local value chain. Their produce is transformed into finished goods right in their backyard, fostering pride and ownership. The Penny plant isn't just building an industry, it's building confidence. The hands that feed the nation are now building its prosperity. A new era for rural Burkina Faso has begun. The Penny plant is modern alchemy turning waste into wealth. For decades, Burkina Faso exported raw goods and imported expensive finished products, trapping wealth outside its borders. The cashew plant shatters that cycle by processing apples locally and capturing value that was once lost. Turning perishable fruit into concentrate, then juice or wine, multiplies its worth. This is value addition, the key to a robust economy. Burkina Faso can now export finished cashew products and substitute imports with local alternatives. Money stays in the country, strengthening businesses and reducing dependency. In 2024, $111 million came from raw nut exports, but this new venture taps a massive, untapped revenue stream. The cashew apple is a metaphor for Africa's overlooked potential. With investment and vision, waste becomes a weapon for economic liberation. Burkina Faso is shifting from raw supplier to industrial creator. This is the alchemy of progress rubbish transformed into revenue. The Penai plant is part of President Captain Ibrahim Traore's bigger vision for national sovereignty. His government is taking control of resources to build an independent, self-reliant economy. The cashew plant is a model process at home, keep profits at home. Other bold moves include a gold refinery and a postal bank for local financial services. In April 2025, Burkina Faso banned raw cashew nut exports, forcing local processing. The apple plant is the agricultural equivalent of the gold refinery, a tool for value, jobs, and control. Investing in a factory for agricultural waste sends a message of innovation and self-belief. It's a rejection of dependency on foreign aid and a model of self-investment. Burkina Faso is building its industries with its own resources and ingenuity. This vision is a call for Burkinabés to see themselves as agents of their own destiny. The cashew plant is more than a factory. It's a symbol of defiance and hope. It stands for a future where Burkina Faso and Africa stand strong and proud. Burkina Faso's cashew plant is part of a quiet revolution across Africa. More nations are rejecting the old model of exporting raw materials and importing finished goods. Countries like Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire are investing in local cocoa processing. Nigeria is building oil refineries. Zimbabwe is banning raw lithium exports. The strategy? Move up the value chain to build stronger economies. Burkina Faso's focus on the cashew apple creates a new value chain from scratch. This gives them bargaining power and the ability to set their own prices. It's a shift from passive supplier to active participant in the global economy. The path isn't easy. It requires investment, political will, and overcoming entrenched interests. But the momentum is building. The penny plant is a symbol of this new direction. Africa's future will be manufactured, processed, and built at home. This quiet revolution is about to make a lot of noise. Building a factory is just the first step. Real success depends on overcoming deeper challenges. The biggest hurdle is psychological, changing the mindset that local products are inferior. Overcoming this colonial mentality is essential for true progress. The factory also needs a reliable supply of bottles, labels, and packaging, otherwise dependency just shifts. Burkina Faso must develop supporting industries and a local supply chain. Bureaucracy and poor coordination can stifle progress. Government ministries must work together. Quality control and branding are crucial to compete with international products. Made in Burkina Faso must become a mark of quality and pride. In 2024, only 16,000 of 30,000 tons of cashew nuts were processed, showing the gap between infrastructure and full potential. Success requires a holistic approach from farmer to consumer. The machine is built, now the real work begins. Building the system is the next challenge. The penny plant's true test is changing the national story. It's about convincing Burkinabés to believe in the value of what they can create. The old story was one of poverty and dependency. The new one must be pride and innovation. Education and awareness are key. People need to see how buying local products supports jobs and the economy. Media campaigns, school programs, and public events can make Made in Burkina Faso a badge of honor. The perception that imported is better must be challenged. Local products must match international quality and tell a compelling story. A bottle of Burkinabe cashew wine is a story of national rebirth. This narrative shift fosters a mindset of abundance and opportunity. The cashew apple, once ignored, is now a symbol of transformation. Burkina Faso's greatest resource is its people's ingenuity and resilience. Winning hearts and minds will ensure this is just the beginning. Burkina Faso's $11.5 million cashew plant is more than a story about fruit. It's a blueprint for economic liberation. The journey from discarded apple to fine wine is a metaphor for moving from dependency to sovereignty. This is about all of Africa's resources: mangoes, shea, sorghum, waiting to be harnessed. The project is a case study for homegrown development, driven by local needs and ingenuity. Placing the factory in a rural area and focusing on waste is a model for the continent. The challenges are real, but the peony plant proves change is possible. It's a rejection of the narrative that Africa is just a supplier of raw materials. The success of this plant can inspire similar initiatives across Africa. The humble cashew apple is now a symbol of a new beginning, a taste of a future built on solutions, innovation, and pride. The world should watch closely. This is how a quiet revolution begins.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear. Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.